All right, I wanted to extend that just a little. This was a little bit of a shorter song by about 2 or 3 minutes from the one yesterday. Yesterday, I did the opening track to Tribute Velvet, and then I started reading the rest of the songs. There's only 6 tracks, and I figured I'd do the closing track because it also deals with the same concept of if I was the Antichrist. This one is track 6, and it's called The Antichrist's Final Thoughts Regarding All Those Darn Relentless Words, or that crazy Russian novel about that prince dude that provides idiots worldwide some much needed solace. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Yeah, I was getting really stupid with these song titles or whatever. Um, this was an interesting exploration. Yesterday I did my usual routine again, starting to run up my driveway, do more leg exercises, and after I was done with all that, I got the urge to mess around with this synthesizer on my phone app, and it led me to that I can't mimic it, that riff that I came up with. It was one of the first things I was just doodling around on there, diddling around. I shared the app yesterday. It's really good. It's called Expressive Piano. I'd highly recommend it because I don't think I even saw an ad yet. And there is a premium feature, but even with the basic stuff, I was able to do just a demo at least. So, yeah, thanks to whoever created that, because that helped me get the songs out a little bit. Originally, I was going to use this beat, these riffs for another song called Failures, but I don't know, it didn't hit me. I thought it was kind of cheesy. I was like trying to be all cool, like my failures. These are all my failures, yo. And it didn't sound like my natural voice, so I'll have to work on that later. My failures, your failures, they're just failures. And I heard it back and I was like, yeah, I don't like this. So I think my style is just to read a stream of consciousness without stopping. Maybe a little bit. I stopped for maybe 10, 20 seconds. But I listened to The Gift again yesterday, the Velvet Underground, The Gift, and it's just as good. I forgot that like they mess around with the channels, the left and right. So if you listen on headphones, it gets kind of weird. Um, but this one came out. I still have to listen to it, so I don't know yet what it's going to sound like. But hopefully, it's all right with the volume levels. And see if I can share this today before I go to give blood or platelets. I wasn't planning to do this, but I had like 2 hours to wait around before I went to the Red Cross place. So I figured I do something productive. Today is Saturday, by the way. Saturday, June 27th, around 7 a.m. These morning sessions are different, but I guess I'm not much of a morning person usually. But if I continue a routine, I can get used to anything almost. I think the only thing I can't do is the overnight, because with any job I'm applying to, I just can't work overnight, man. Messes up my whole rhythm. I don't know how people do it, the overnight jobs. So this might become a routine if I continue doing so. Um, this online app that I'm using to construct this stuff, basically I come up with a general melody and then I'll play it on my phone recorder, and then I'll record something on top of that, and then I'll play that, and I'll record something on top of that, and I'll play that. I didn't do that many layers. Maybe there's only 4 layers or so. So it's not exactly like a multi-track thing. Maybe I could learn or find an app that I could use on my phone like that with multi-track capability, but that might be more difficult to do on a small screen to really get everything to sync. I don't know. These are just demos again. Like the Wesley Willis was the inspiration because he was able to do things in his own way just with his keyboard. And I was like, all right, that's that's a way to get your music out there more than just me speaking stuff. So hopefully this sounds all right. I don't have much to talk about today. Uh, Again, this is my album Tribute Velvet, which I wrote back in October. Yeah, I shared this on my Substack on October 14th, the finished album, at least in terms of the poetry and lyrics. So I might just work on this album now, do every song since I have a good flow going. At least I think so. There's only 4 other songs, so I might as well make this into a whole demo album and maybe do something with it. I don't think I would want to put this on Bandcamp like this because it's not what I want. The mixing, the volume levels, there's really no percussion at all. I can't think now if the Gift has any drums on it. The Velvet Underground, do they use drums a lot? I don't know. Because I want it to be more of that flavor of no wave music, Sonic Youth, just loud, in your face aggression. That's what I love. But I can get down with more mellow stuff. The reason the Velvet Underground was so appealing to me was for that fact that you can produce your own music in a well, back then it was crazy experimental, right? Like how many bands were really trying to do stuff like that? I can picture all these, cookie cutter commercial pop bands, and then they hear Velvet Underground, and they're probably like, "Oh man, I want to do that shit." um, yeah, that's me though. I want to try a little bit of everything in terms of genre stuff. Um, I don't know how it's gonna be when I try to rap stuff, but I kind of did that with the first attempt of this was the rap song, the Whatever Whatever album. So yeah, I see myself more comfortable just reading in a good flow. And when I do this, I had the music turned down pretty lightly because if I don't, it'll overpower my voice. So I have to see how it comes out. And it's really just me breath control. I'm doing the same thing as I did the last 2 days. I do this like yoga pose, almost like how the Muslims kneel for prayer. That's like what I'm doing as I'm singing this, just to maybe stretch out my stomach and get some more breath control. Breath control, not birth control. Get some more airwaves open and get better enunciation. Is that the word? Nah, that's not the word. Pronunciation. What's enunciation? Just to get better quality, enunciate. Yeah, pronounce words clearly and distinctly. So, yeah, I need to work on this stuff. It's a process. The good thing is, I could do this with my phone capabilities, at least to get an idea of who knows what this song will be. Just like a piece of art, a lot of painters will say they don't know if it's good until they look at it a month later or a couple weeks later, or other people give opinions. Maybe sometimes you have something that instantly gets your artistic juices flowing, like, oh man, I got to share this with people. I think Mike Campbell, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers fame, he wrote a song for The Boys of Summer for Don Henley, I guess. I think he wrote that song. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. There was a song that he offered to Tom Petty, and Tom Petty didn't want it. What songs did Mike Campbell write? Because I think it was something for Don Henley. I don't know which one though. for other artists. Yeah, he did The Boys of Summer, so that's pretty. He must have wrote that song, and maybe I'm misquoting him, but I think he knew that it was going to be a hit song, and I guess Tom Petty didn't like it. Maybe, yeah, I don't know if I could hear Tom Petty singing that song, The Boys of Summer. He's too mellow. I don't know. I guess it worked out in a good way. Everyone made a good song. That's cool when you hear stories like that. You know, I said the David Bowie story with um, whatever that song was. I always forget what it is. But he gave a song to Mott the Hoople. I think Stevie Wonder did that numerous times. All right, so he's actually, I don't know if he wrote this song, but Sixth Avenue Heartache by the Wallflowers. Guitar, mandolin, and heavy influence on the track's structure. Stop Dragging My Heart Around with Stevie Nicks and Tom Petty. He wrote songs for Chris Stapleton. Fuck that guy. The Chicks. I don't know what the Chicks are. In the Heart of the Matter. That's a good song. It's time that we get back to the heart of the matter. Yeah, see, I remember that. Forgiveness. It reminds me of like Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they go into the gym to work out. Bumblebee, bitch. And I forget what song they put on the radio, or they get their own CD and they put like Don Henley or something. I forget what it is now. It's not exactly yacht rock, but it's close to that, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to talk for too long. This was a kind of planned talk and kind of not to do this song today. I just wanted to get it out and see what it sounded like. I think it's a cool closing song, and it would extend maybe for another 2 or 3 minutes and get more layers on it, more crazy distortion, and then just close the album like that. It's kind of a heavier repetition, heavier drone piece. I don't think you really need to break it up with anything else, but any tempo changes, or there's no chorus or anything. It just goes into these verses, and ends like that with a real hazy, distorted climax. So that's what I'm going for. I did listen to The Idiot yesterday, and I did enjoy it, the Iggy Pop album. I put it on my list of influential albums because it probably subconsciously, I think I did hear it before, but I didn't really remember it. I did go through Iggy Pop's like catalog, and I wasn't really feeling it maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, it's a good album. Somebody commented on YouTube that it's David Bowie's best Berlin album because he had so much to do with it, and you can notice that. So I did enjoy it. I'll try to find another album to listen to today, maybe more Velvet Underground. But yeah, I like to get these. I like doing it like this. At least I can show people that I am trying to compose these, and if I had the capability, I'd be doing this. All the money, all the time in the world, this is all I'd be doing. Because I really I don't want to do anything else in terms of like my main focus, my main purpose. I'm not trying to get a career right now. I just need a job so I can keep doing this wherever I end up over the next month or so. I don't want to get bogged down by a career that's like a 14-hour a day thing because I would have no time to do this stuff. I'm going to live very simply and minimally and hopefully one day finally make money off art so I don't have to dick around at a job that, you know, is valuable because it could help you make connections too, I guess, to some degree. You never know who you're going to meet, so being a complete hermit isn't really recommended in terms of artistic networking. I guess that's why agents were created, marketing was created. But Yeah, for the most part, I don't really look at myself like that. The albums that I'd be putting out would be pretty much my own solo ventures, maybe some collaboration. I'm not against it. I just don't know how to do it. I'm not comfortable working with other people in terms of making art. I don't know the back and forth of, no, this doesn't work. And if they use real musical lingo, I won't know what the hell they're talking about. But that's basically why I keep doing these things, to keep myself focused that this is still my purpose in life, and to know that one day it will lead somewhere. I just don't know when. Hopefully soon, because I'm, at that point where I need to start making money off this stuff, or find a way to support myself while I'm doing this on the West Coast somewhere. So, yeah, it's an interesting type of documenting. I don't know where else to share this that might get some attention because I can't go perform this somewhere. Um, I'm just writing songs. I'm going to share one maybe next week that's based on like a Stroke song, that whole New York indie kind of sludgy rock from the early 2000s. Because I know these aren't radio songs. When the Velvet Underground came out, I'm sure they were the hit on the underground art scene with all the hipsters and beatniks and whatever else, the poets and the more artsy cinema people, the Andy Warhols of that era, people like that. Andy Warhol was of that era. Other people like that. I'm sure the Velvet Underground were very popular amongst that crowd, but commercial success, I don't know how financially viable a band like that was in '68, early '70s. Um, there's a channel I watch all the time on YouTube called Taste Like Music, and they talk about that a lot. That their the people that watch that channel, their patrons or whatever, they always say the '70s was the best time period for music. It was the best version of Elton John, best version of Pink Floyd, and all those big bands like that, Zeppelin. So I don't know. I don't know how true it is. Growing up in the '70s, I don't know what that was like. Again, I was born in '81, so I don't know what that time period was like. Um, my knowledge of the '70s is like the movie Dazed and Confused. I think that's the '70s. Yeah, like the McConaughey, the Aerosmith, Livin. Um, that's my knowledge of what American life was like in the '70s. You drive around to the moon tower with beer in your trunk and just, you know, fuck it all, have a great time. Uh, so every era is going to be different, like, and it depends on where you live too, and it depends on your race, your creed, your culture. There's so many different factors. But I really enjoyed that movie, Dazed and Confused. Definitely like a top 10 movie for me. I don't think I'm biased. Like only want to listen to stuff from that era. There's so much music today because people found out how to make music with their phones, at home studios, and they can put it out on Bandcamp and stream it and share it with people. They might not be making tons of money, but why not? Instead of going golfing or going to see a movie, people could stay home and make music. Like, that's a beautiful thing, man. That's what I'm trying to do. I want to do it more forcefully, like as a career. I need to find a way to eventually make money from it because that's all I want to be doing and really get at the production side of things. I don't see myself going to a production school and doing all that for whatever it is, years of that. I don't think that's in me to do that at this point. I think I just need to teach myself all the production techniques that I think I could do. I've messed around with Cool Edit in the past and Audacity. I think that's what it was called. So I'm not completely in the weeds when it comes to production, home studio stuff. But I know it's going to be a process to get really good at it. When I talk about the levels and mixing things to make people want to listen to your songs over and over again, that's more what I'm going to try to do next week. I'm going to pick songs that are more in tune with radio play. The one I was just talking about, The Strokes. It's a song pretty much like a Strokes song, or what's that other band? Shit, I forget. LCD Sound System. I think they're a New York band. They have a song called "Call the Police." That's like one of my favorite songs ever. Maybe I'll end this by reciting the lyrics to that one. Call the police. LCD Sound System lyrics. This is more what my song I'll share in a couple days is like. It's called "Kiss the Danger," and I was looking at songs throughout the night, last night, trying to think of things that could be radio songs that I could sell to other artists. As I'm not against that at all. I know a band like The Strokes or LCD Sound System with decades of experience would totally make the song better than I could. Like, that's not doesn't even have to be said. And they have the capability to do stuff. So if they liked one of my songs completely, yeah, I would be thrilled to make money like that too. And yeah, that's cool. You could still record it yourself. Like I could still record my own version of it. I'm not like going to be angry if another band makes it sound better. I'm going to be the happiest moment of my life if another band had a hit song with one of my songs and then I heard it on the radio one day. I would be like that Tom Hanks movie, That Thing You Do, when they listen to their song on the radio. Yeah, that's like the dream that people always have. The CeeLo Green. Wasn't the CeeLo Green? No, he was the one with the Keira Knightley movie. The Hustle and Flow. Yeah, they hear their song on the radio. That's a great movie. I think I mentioned that. In terms of music movies, that's maybe my favorite music movie, Hustle and Flow. I really love that movie. Something about it just instantly connected with me. The way it flows, it's so good. The ending's pretty suspenseful. It has a pretty cool ending. Just to show the whole dream of making it out of the ghetto, making it out of the inner city or the no opportunity, making it out through music is such a hard thing to do, but if you do it enough and you hit the right time frame, I don't know, like who invented disco? Like, disco had like a 2 3 year run, right? Like, and then people just said, all right, this is fucking horrible. I don't think disco would ever really come back like that, but you can still hear it in certain songs today, like the Bruno Mars stuff. But you just have to find the right sound for the right time. If you're going to look at it like a science, a more technical marketing demographic outlook of how to make money off of songwriting. And I'm very cynical about that stuff, but also, yeah, I would love to be a part of that just to see what songs could be workable. So I'm going to do that next week. Maybe, I don't know what day. I'll try to pick songs that I think could be radio songs. There's only two words in my language, and they're money now. That was one I thought could be on the radio. One I just wrote a couple months ago, West Coast Time. Living on West Coast Time. Maybe I'll try to do that if I can get it out with my synthesizer. And the one I just talked about with the Strokes type of influence. So I'm going to dig deeper into my collection of songs, try to find some that would work as radio songs. I don't know how to go to approach it from that angle because I don't know anybody. And as far as I know, no one's on my Substack or any Medium pages. No one really goes there. So even if I do this, I don't know how to extend this information to the right people without being like Better Call Saul and climbing up a billboard and saving someone, setting up some um, fake marketing ploy like that, which, I'm not going to be able to do that. Yes, the marketing thing is a tough thing to even get a foot in. That's the foot in the door. You have to give people a reason to care about your story or give people a reason to care about you. Sometimes, at least, like sometimes artists are just pushed from a corporate angle with the right network, people who know what will sell in certain areas and how to kind of blend the gaps. Um, that's a science, and just based on previous data, but I'm sure it's also always changing too. So you want to create something new, that's great, but you also have to make it attractive to enough people to make it worthy of further development. Um, I had the same idea for my screenplays. That's why I was doing all that. It's the same philosophy. You make it attractive enough for a large demographic, and I believe I did that with a majority of my writing. It's not based on a specific culture or race. It's just stories that I think could blend together as just American stories. Or when I say American, I just mean the blending of all people, the melting pot of art. Um, so it's not based on cultural stereotypes or cultural norms with no, whatever taboo is in your culture. I believe I did that to a pretty good degree, and yeah, I'm kind of influenced by what's hot and what I've liked in my life. Like I'm going back to Easy Rider again from the '60s or whenever that came out, late '60s or early '70s. Easy Rider and movies like that, Cool Hand Luke. Those are the movies that connected with me. It doesn't matter what time period. If a movie connects with you, it just connects with you. Like really old movies, I can't think of any offhand. I don't know. Sunset Boulevard. I think that's one of the best horror movies ever. If I made a list of my favorite horror movies, it would be Halloween and maybe Sunset Boulevard. I think that's the creepiest movie. It really is. And Misery, too. Yeah, that would be the Trinity right there. I'm not a big gore guy. I think gore gets kind of overrated. Slasher films and gore for the sake of gore. Those Final Destinations and stuff like that. People just go to see the kill scenes, and there's a thrill to that too. There was one movie I watched, You're Next or something, where they have a really good kill scene with a blender at the end. That was pretty good. The Cabin in the Woods, something like that. That was pretty good. There's some good new ones, but yeah, I really like Sunset Boulevard. I think that's one of the creepiest movies. You could call it a horror movie. And yeah, so there's some older movies. Well, The Wizard of Oz, that's in my top 10 probably. So yeah, a piece of art is going to connect with you. It doesn't matter what time period. Um, if the story's good, the story's good, whether it was in 1700s or now. So yeah, these are all things in my head swimming around when I try to write stuff. Usually not in the moment. I think about it afterwards most of the time. The album that I got Kiss the Danger from, which is a song that the Strokes influenced, an LCD sound system. Kiss the Danger, I was doing that. I wrote a song. I hear Dolly Parton in my voice. I'll share that one maybe later too. And I shared another one that was like, They Might Be Giants. I forget some of the other ones now. Maybe I'll go through that album. I think it's called Maybe Aliens. There's a Ween song influenced by Ween. It's kind of all over the place. If you like Ween and the album Quebec, they kind of go like a proggy song, and there's like the opener is like Motorhead, and it's really a great album, Quebec. Um, so yeah, I think about it in the moment sometimes. I'm like, all right, this melody, this is Ween, this is Dolly Parton, Margot Price, this is LCD Sound System, The Strokes. I don't know the Yeah Yeah Yeahs that well, but I think they get looped in that genre too. Maybe they were a New York band, and yeah, it is in my head because of course the Hold Steady, those bands are in my subconscious, my collective memory song bank, and that's what I'm drawing stuff from. Like the song I just shared, I didn't know what the music would be until yesterday, but I'm not saying the music will be like that. I don't know if it's good or if it's just a derivative riff, but I'll have to listen to it now and see where I would go in the future with it. But that's all for today. Thanks for listening. Tomorrow I'll try to do another one. I'm not sure which one yet. I'll make a game time decision. And yeah, that's all. Enjoy the day, and hopefully you got something out of this that's inspiring to you.